Hey everyone, welcome back to the FloTrack podcast on a wonderful Friday here in Austin, Texas. Kevin Sully joined by Gordon Mack. It's a Kevin and Gordon episode.
The best kind.
I agree.
I mean, it's in the top three.
It's definitely a top three.
Top three.
Our email address, flotrackpodcast@gmail.com. You write in.
All the other ats were taken. Yahoo was taken, Hotmail, Ask Jeeves, but flotrackpodcast@gmail.
And we got one email, so we know it works.
Someone emailed us?
Shout out to Kelly for being the first person to write in, complimented the haircut, so I know that she's watching too, not just listening, but watching as
I
well.
didn't even know you got a haircut.
$7.99 at Great Clips.
$7.99.
They had a sale.
Did you tip?
Yes.
So what was the final cost?
I tipped a couple bucks.
Couple bucks.
We got to 10.
Just $2?
We got to 10.
$3?
Yeah, we got to 10.
So you get $10 haircuts.
Well, I normally have $15 haircuts, and then they're on sale. So, and you can tell for those of you watching exactly.
How long did it take?
The haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, 15 minutes. If I actually wanted a little shorter, like here, but because it was $7.99, I felt bad to have her like go back and do it again. So she's like, "How's that look?" I'm like, "That's fine," and
So
I'm actually happy with it.
You just got a $10 haircut, but what is the household haircut budget?
I have no idea how my wife's hair even works. I got to be honest with you. She cut my hair forever until I moved to Austin. I had never paid for a haircut from third grade until I moved to Austin, Texas in the very end of 2017. Someone would always cut my hair.
Wow.
Friend, family member, and then eventually wife. And then she's like, "You know what? I'm done with that. We're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
You need to find your way to a barber." So it was really awkward the first time I went. I didn't know what you said. Like, I didn't know how
it worked.
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
Oh, it's like not knowing how to tie a tie.
Exactly, which Lincoln does not know how to do. I just want to bring that up. So I would go in and I'd say, "I'm here
So
for a
were you
haircut."
like nervous?
Yes. I was very nervous.
How old were you when you had your first professional haircut?
So my first professional haircut was the end of 2017, so I would have been 33 years old. I mean, again, I had it cut in third grade, but I was with my mom at that point, so she was giving instructions. So my mother-in-law, I think, was with us at the time, and I said, "What's a thing that you say to a barber to know like what to do?" And she's like, "Oh, just tell him to like leave an inch and a half or whatever." She's like, "Or you can bring a picture of what you want." I'm like, "I don't know, that's just getting really complicated." So I said the whole, just leave an inch and a half thing. But then I'm in their database now, so they're like, "Oh, do you want the whatever?" But every time it's kind of different, so I don't know what I'm signing up. Yeah, I don't know what I'm signing up for. They each have their own styles, but this actually, I mean, it's a little longer on top. I don't mind it.
Guys just normally say, you say a number on the side, and then how much you want left on top.
Yeah.
So it's like a 0 or a 1 or 2.
But
I would always say 1 on the side, leave a little bit on top.
See, I was just saying just do the same, because before I just same length all around. I think so. That might have thrown them off, and they just don't. I think they're not put off, but they're a little confused by my lack of caring. Because like, what do you want? And I'm like,
most dudes don't care.
Well, I'm just like, you're the professional.
That's what I say too. When they say like, does it look good? It's like, it's okay if it doesn't. I'll just get it changed again later. Like it's just like, if it doesn't look good, I'll just come back.
Well, when they say does it look good, I said pretend you're somebody else. Would you tell me my hair looked good? And I'll take your word for it. Like the dentist isn't like, "Hey, how does that? What sort of thing you feeling today? You want to fill in a couple cavities or just one or two?" You're the expert.
Yeah.
Go in and own it. So shout out to Kelly for writing in. The email address, again, flotrackpodcast@gmail.com. She says she listens every day.
Yeah.
So,
send in questions.
Yes.
Thoughts. Critiques.
Topics. What are you looking forward to at NCAA Indoors? Who is the biggest performer on the pro scene indoors? Olympic marathon takes. Your thoughts on the World Half Marathon Championships being postponed now?
Yes.
Another big meet postponed, Gordon.
Yeah, so it was in Poland.
Yes.
And it was, when was it?
March.
Yep. So that's soon. We already had a team selected, I'm guessing, for it, right?
Well, we already, yes, and internationally we had a big matchup brewing between Jeffrey Camworth and Joshua Cheptegei as well.
So do we know yet if the team is going to stay the same, I'm guessing, through October? I mean, do you know what our U.S. team was?
It's a good question. You got to be honest. Didn't have the U.S. team out in front. You're really good at asking questions that your co-hosts don't know the answers to. But I'm assuming you would keep the same. I mean, it was up in 3 weeks here.
Yeah. So, but like, is it going to change? Like who?
Well, it will. I think it will naturally change because David Monti wrote a quick recap of this, and he basically said the new day, which is October 17th, that's going to be 6 days after Chicago, and it's also going to be on the same day as Amsterdam and Toronto. So there's going to be some conflict there.
Yeah.
the running calendar is crowded as is. When you start moving stuff around, it gets really complicated, and people are used to things happening in a set pattern. So we also saw the Paris Marathon as well.
That was gonna be live on Flow too.
Mm-hmm.
So the Paris Marathon is gonna be moved to fall.
The fall as well, yeah. Here's the issue though: they're moving everything to the fall, and they're using the word postpone. For the World Indoor Championships, they moved it to next year and called it postponed. But postponed could turn into canceled.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, because it seems like this issue is not going away. And one report I saw, the fall, it might even get worse when the normal patterns of the cold season pick up even more.
And isn't it like currently in Paris, not in Paris, in Italy?
Yes.
Like all sporting events are being held without people.
Yes. Yeah. So that's, I mean, in the United States, I know they're putting like restrictions on, some colleges are putting restrictions on how many people can like attend events as well too.
Yeah, my alma mater, Johns Hopkins, just said they're doing something with the Division III basketball tournament or something like that.
Okay.
Let me try to find it. But NCAA made their first like coronavirus like effect.
Yeah.
So Johns Hopkins says no spectators allowed during first 2 rounds of the NCAA Division III basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard the Olympic folks at the IOC, because remember Dick Pound said like a week ago that, it could be off or they could postpone it, and everybody freaked out. So then they sent somebody else out to be like, no, it's fine, it's going ahead as normal. But they don't know that. No one knows what this is going to be like in a couple months. And the idea that they could move it is just crazy. I mean, I read something, it's basically impossible. The amount of sponsor money that's put in. Think of the United States, right?
Well, couldn't London just host it?
Well, no, I mean move the date. No, because they've promised it to Tokyo, but in the contract it just says 2020. It doesn't say a date. So they were postulating that, okay, maybe we can move it
to December.
To December, right? But think of just how many people are there, how many hotels are blocked off, how many TV sponsors have it slotted in, right? If you move it to December, you're going against, if you're NBC, you're now going against football. Right? Yeah. College football, pro football. Like, you wanted that slot. You own that slot. So it's just, there's so many forces pushing against moving it that it seems almost like an impossibility.
I mean, it's not impossible.
We're going to have no spectators. I mean, people have bought tickets. Like, you can't just move around. The housing was built. They built temporary housing that they've sold to people to move into after the Olympics. It causes just this amazing ripple effect. So it's like media housing probably, I'm sure, right? So you stay in a place in Tokyo. You're not going, but hypothetically, if you were going, you stay in a place in July into August for 2 weeks. You come in track. It's going great. That place that you're staying in
becomes a couple's home
that someone has already paid for and planned for. Like, there's just huge reverberations.
I mean, so they can't delay it then, but they could cancel it.
So I think delaying it, is less likely than canceling. I mean, I think obviously the highest odds is it's just going to happen, right? And then the second thing would just be they'd have to call it off, and then moving it just seems really difficult. Also, do they want to have an Olympics where people don't show up? Do they want to have Olympics where there's no fans? That's
I mean, could they just like have the Olympics in 2021?
Do like what they're doing for World Indoors?
Yeah,
just move it to the other year. Yeah,
I mean, it's every 4 years, so it's gonna be like a 5-year and a 3-year, to break. It's not like
that seems more reasonable.
It's not like another Olympics next year they have to get in before. I mean, obviously you have the winter, but like it's separate. So
would that give enough time though to like plan? Because then you still have all the issue with the infrastructure and the volunteers and the people who bought tickets. It's a huge choice. I mean, when you have something this big, it's cool because it's like, oh, the whole world watches. But then the flip side of it is like, oh yeah, everybody's depending on it happening on these days. So I don't know.
I'm still skeptical. I just think
You think it'll happen?
No, I just think the virus isn't as viral as our Twitter feed tells us it is.
Twitter, not always a great resource, but it does seem like people are saying that within the next couple months it's going to accelerate, right? And then in the fall too as well. Like I said, it could be compounded by the normal sickness season. At least in the United States. I don't know how that would matter worldwide. The good news is in China, they've said they've managed to like curtail new cases.
I just think we're going to look back on this a year or two from now and be like, remember when everyone freaked out about the coronavirus?
Well, that's going
to be a line.
You like like Zika.
Yeah.
From Rio. There is this tendency every Olympics there's something, right? I remember going back to Athens. There was a big fear about there's gonna be a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
60 Minutes did this report on this terrorist group like in Greece and how that was gonna be the big thing. And I know every 4 years there's something, but this is a lot farther along, obviously, than Zika. I mean, if we're getting to the point where we're canceling events, I mean, Tokyo Marathon, right, cancels the mass race. They still have the regular race. Yeah, it's definitely gotten much bigger than I am. Like when I first heard it, I didn't think it would get to this.
But I also think it's gotten big because of the way
we consume media now.
Well, just the way society works. Like once people start doing it, you're like, well, if they're doing it, that means I have to do it. And now everyone starts doing like we're in South by Southwest. It's like a big thing going on right now here in Austin, and a lot of people are pulling out.
Yeah.
And I think what
when
happened
is that?
It's next week, next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so not this weekend, but the next weekend and the following.
I saw Tim Ferriss pulled out. Fellow podcaster Tim Ferriss.
So like what happens is though, someone big like, Twitter pulls out. Jack Dorsey says, "I'm not coming," right?
Yeah.
And then if you're Google, you can be like, well, if Jack's not going, I probably shouldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amazon's like, well, if Google's not going, I probably shouldn't go. And I think that's happening in sports. It's like, well, if Tokyo isn't allowing spectators, we probably shouldn't. And then it's like grows. And I think no one wants to be the one that didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to kind of like, and I think when all is said and done, I think the disease, I was reading on Hopkins by alma mater, who's at the forefront of tracking this.
That's where you got
Johns Hopkins.
That's where you got your medical degree.
Yeah,
from.
so like I'm actually like part of the whole process. they text me, ask me my opinion as an alma mater, even though I've never donated back, but they still text me.
You didn't give them enough money; they want more.
But they said that there was everything's just a projection. No one actually truly knows.
Yeah.
But they think that 40 to 60% of the country will get it, but the death rate's going to be like 0.5%, and it'll be like old people. And it's like you're gonna.
I still think people are gonna get fixated on that first term.
No, but like 40-60% will get it. A large percentage of them won't have symptoms of it.
They won't even know they have it.
They won't even know they have it.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where like, it's like, I mean, everyone gets germs, right?
Yeah.
Like we have germs on our hands right now, but like you can't ban germs.
Yeah.
They're gonna spread. It's just a matter of like you should wash your hands.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, the question is if this thing spreads all over the world, are we having mass casualty? And they're saying no.
That's what Johns Hopkins is saying.
What Johns Hopkins is saying.
As reported by their most famous alum, Gordon Mack.
And I found out from my brother telling me about it. So
okay,
because it's
did
affecting.
He go there too?
No, he did not. But it's affecting his company. He works for a company. He's head of engineering for a company.
Don't say the company. We don't have a sponsor yet.
That has factories in China.
Okay.
And they said that his factory, the government came in, shut down his factory, and forced their factory to make masks instead of their product.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Chinese government did?
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Wow.
He's like, you're not making this product anymore. You're making masks. And he was like, they're like, I guess we can't tell them not to. It's a government.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's weird. So it's affecting him like in a different world because he's more in the business of it.
You kind of buried the lead here. We should have started with this.
We don't have any Chinese factories live streaming our content, so we're good on that. But so it's a thing. It's happening. I get it. But I think Halloween, everyone is going to dress up as coronavirus for Halloween, and they're all going to dress up as Houston Astros inside trash cans. That's what Halloween is going to be in 2020. Houston Astros and trash cans and coronavirus.
I like that someone's looking out for the Halloween angle.
There's definitely, I guarantee you, Party City is currently designing a Corona-shaped bottle costume that looks sick, 100%. And everyone's going to buy it.
Interesting.
How many college kids are going to be like, oh, I'm coronavirus?
Well, they do that anyway. I think the college kids would do that even if it's like people are dying.
It'll be sexy coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's going to be all...
Okay, let's move on. Before we go
I'm just saying that's how we work in society. We turn everything into a meme.
A joke, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Some Caster Semenya news. Read that Caster Semenya quote. We saw this right before we started recording.
Yeah, so apparently, Caster Semenya says she's going to the Tokyo Olympics no matter what.
Vows to race.
She says, I'm going to surprise you, and you're going to like the surprise. Ooh, what is that? I like the little tease in the beginning of the article.
Yeah, but she says something...
So She acknowledged that there's very little she could do about the World Athletics ruling, about not letting her compete, because as you know, she can't compete in the 400 to 1500. Super convenient that those are her events.
Yeah. Weird how that works.
It's weird how, like, her condition, if she was a 3K runner, no one cares about.
Yeah.
My biggest goal remains to be at the Olympics, and I will work hard to achieve that. No ruling is going to get in the way of that. So, I don't want to say anything about that. There are other people you need to ask. Well, so what ruling? No rule. I mean, she can't. So the only way she'd do it would have to be in a different event.
A different event, yes. This is an article from Sport 24 in South Africa, our leading source of South African news. I guess that means she's running the 200 of the steeplechase?
Yeah, or 5K.
Yeah. If there was a flat 3,000 at the Olympics, you can see, like, a path. But that's a tough... Like, they really succeeded well in keeping her out of this thing.
What about... Can she
run
like,
the 4x4.
long jump?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking, do you think she can be good?
Oh, I think she can be
She's
good.
probably, like, having, like, decathlons all day to see which one she's best at.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I didn't even think about
200.
I didn't think about a field event. 200, no. It's just not going to work. She doesn't have the foot speed for that. I could see the steeple.
Steeple? I mean, I'd see 5K before the steeple.
Really? Just because, no, don't want to do the barriers?
Yeah, it's like you don't have to learn that. And, like, 5K, you just got to get... She doesn't need to worry about getting the time because she just has to be ranked high enough, right? South Africa will pick her no matter what.
Yeah. Well, who does it? Dominic Scott and her?
I mean, what's her 5K time?
She ran one last year, didn't she? I don't know if she broke... Did she break 16? I mean, she's more of a speed 800 runner. I know she's run some good 1,500 meters races, but she always struck me as
So
more
these
of
are
a
our
speed
personal
runner.
best. 200 is 24:26, so yeah, that's not
getting it done.
That's not happening. Her 3K,
9:36.
9:36.
Also not getting it done.
Not getting it done. 5K, 16:05. Not getting it done.
And that was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the path? What is she? He has to be talking about
But
something.
Because I mean, I think it's 5K but like I think we just don't know how good she could be in a 5K because
She's
I mean,
different.
359, 1500.
Yeah.
If you train, start getting that aerobic
Give me a
gene coming back.
Give me a. I mean, who else has run 359 and the 1500? And what can we extrapolate from a?
I mean, Shelby.
Well, Shelby's run 354 now. So
Okay, but like,
find me a 359, either man or woman.
I mean, Shelby a year before she ran 350. She was supposed to take a 359 woman.
So you think Semenya can run under? I mean, Shelby was under 15 at that point. So
No, but Shelby's been training for the 5K.
Okay,
like,
so
it's just like I think that
1512, 1520. Can she run 1520?
I don't know if. Here's the thing: if Gwen Jorgensen
Yeah.
can run 15:10.9,
Yeah.
I think a 359 runner should be able to run 15:10.
Yeah. Okay. Under 15, maybe a stretch.
Yeah.
But 15:10.
You just gotta think that like if she spends an entire year focused on the 5K with 359 talent and 154 talent
Yeah.
and 49-second closing speed,
Right.
you have to be able to just like learn how to not learn but like train.
It's totally different training. Yeah.
Different training, but like if she's an elite athlete, she knows how to be disciplined. You got to imagine that she's even more motivated to be a big FU. It'll be the ultimate FU if she goes out there and like not medal. I mean, it'll be crazy if she medaled.
Oh my goodness.
Or like won.
Yeah.
If she won the 5K at the Olympics, it would be the greatest thing ever.
If she won the
Schadenfreude for her would just be so great. Seeing all the people be like, but.
Can we talk about shoes again? World Athletics. Let's talk about shoes, please. Anything, literally. Look at the stack height. I
We're
can't
not
believe
allowed
it.
to do that, but we said, you know.
That would be the ultimate like FU victory.
Yeah.
In like all of sports.
And it'll point out the ultimate hypocrisy of the ruling.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Well, because you know what they would do the next day.
oh yeah. It turns out the science, we didn't read the last page. It also said 5,000 meters.
We should have gone to Johns Hopkins and gotten medical degrees. And
No. You know what? This is what they'll do. They'll be like, once they see Caster Semenya go out there and run like a 14:59 time trial, they're gonna be like, coronavirus is too big. We got to cancel the Olympics. We can't.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is part of her game? Part of this could just be marketing, or she's just trying to be really coy. But maybe that's part of it too. Of like, she knows if she runs like stuff publicly or makes it known like what she's going for, that something will get in her way, right?
Yeah, so she's like, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, because are they really going to, if she wanted to get into a 5K in the Diamond League, like I said, there's no 5K in the Diamond League anymore, so you don't need to worry about that. Like at 200 in the Diamond, like say she ran, just hypothetically, she ran like a fringe 200 meter time.
Yeah.
They going to want to put her in a Diamond League? Is there going to be pressure to keep her out of the Diamond League?
I feel like it.
Yeah, I do too. That seems natural. I mean, all the stuff with Gatlin, like when he was coming back.
Who is what's the reason behind Caster being banned? Is it coming from a swarm of female elite runners, or is it come from bureaucrats?
I think it's more bureaucrats than anything. Yeah.
Like who?
Lindsay Sharp spoke out, and maybe there was some other people who spoke out, but I can't really remember a large contingent. Like you talk to her contemporaries, like Ajay Wilson doesn't say anything about it. Nian Saba, obviously, in the same situation.
So then why do they want...
I mean, Hannah Green trains with Francine Nian Saba, right, at the OTC, right? Like, I don't...
Why would they want to ban her?
Why would they want to ban her? Because I think they got in a situation where they were saying that she was, too good. I mean,
but Usain Bolt was too good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like... There's nothing wrong with having a dominant runner during an era.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually good, I think, because then it's all about will they lose.
Well, I think that's
more exciting.
I think what they saw is they were conflating this with other issues relating to gender, and they were like, we're going to put a marker in. The problem is the science that they did to do it was very ham-handed, and it was very selected, and they even said, oh, we're kind of focusing on the medical people at the IAAF, back when it was called the IAAF, were like, oh, if someone dominates this much in one of these events, and like we're always going to look at it. But it's like, well, what's the, like... That's such a gray area.
Yeah.
Like, who decides what's dominant? Who decides what's going to be, like, too impressive a performance? But, ever since she burst... I mean, we forget 2009 how much backlash she got immediately from it. And some of it was competitors, but some of it was just, like, general, like, track populace at large.
She was new.
It kind of tapered off once every... And then there was all these stupid theories about how she could break the world record anytime she wants, but she's just sandbagging it, right?
Yeah.
And then she got put on medication... slowed down, got off medication, went back to kind of her normal self. I never got the sense she was ever sandbagging it. That was just ridiculous to me. It's like, if she could break the world record, she'd break the world record, make a lot of money, and become famous.
The only people who sandbag it are dads going up against their sons in, like, the backyard basketball.
Oh, I go hard. As a dad of a son, I go hard.
You don't sandbag?
No, man. I get to be Barry Sanders out there for football. Or, like, I'm like Jordan. Like, I never got to, like, juke people the way I can juke my 4-year-old.
Your son is just helping your confidence.
But I'm also making him better, too. Because my son's already better relative to his age than I ever was relative to any age in my entire life.
Yeah, well, it's not that hard to break that record.
For me, yes, no. I was like, wait a minute, are you insulting me? Yeah, he got all of his mom's athletic genes, thankfully. Do you want to talk indoors?
Yeah, well, Caster. Wait, one last thing, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe she starts doing the whatever, like, because she's allowed to compete if she takes like hormone suppression. Or
she said she's never gonna do that.
Yeah, but maybe that will be her way to get in.
Get in the 800. There needs to be that 6-month period. I don't like. All this stuff is done kind of behind closed doors.
Maybe
don't say it.
I shouldn't say
it.
I was saying maybe she like chops off her leg and then enters in a...
Okay, let's move on.
Because then it won't be a different division, right? Does it apply to everything?
I mean, World Athletics, I think, only governs
the
Olympics. I don't think you're talking about Paralympics?
Yeah, Paralympics.
Yeah, I don't think they govern that.
Yeah, so you could just be like, all right, I'm in
I don't think that she's going to do that.
Whatever.
I think if she was...
I mean, I'm making a joke.
Yes.
It's a bad joke.
But, yeah, no. I admire your ability to say it out loud.
Yeah, whatever.
Just incredible. No, I'm
just brainstorming here. We're throwing things on the wall. How Caster can get back on the track. That's all.
I think most likely, I think you're right. It's a distance event, then somehow it's a sprint event, and then maybe a field event.
Yeah.
And then I think... after that, I think it would be she takes the hormone suppressant because she's been very clear, like, she's not going to do that. And again, if she was going to compete in Tokyo, she'd already need to be on it because you need to have, like, a 6-month period where you're on the medication. But, no, it's just...
so is she banned from the heptathlon? Because
there's an 800? I think she might... Well, because isn't, like, the weight throw... There's, like, 2 field events that they're also... Yeah. That she's also not allowed to compete.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think... Well, that's why it was so weird. The research was so weird. It's like you really did all these studies and you came up with, like, just these handful of events, right? Like, it helps in the shot, it helps in the weight throw, but it doesn't help in the shot. I mean, come on. Yeah. Or it's like it's way too unfair for like the 1500, but the 5K, it's like, oh,
totally normal.
Okay, yeah.
Not like we have so many 15 5K is like a normal double that people consider doing, and like we're like,
there's no way she could, or Sifan Hassan 15 10K. But yeah, I think we forget just like how much of a issue it was, like that first Berlin World Championships in 2009, and then that's like where it started. And then I think ever since then they were trying to come up with a policy. The problem is it just became really clear that it was just about excluding her, and then she kind of pushed back too, right? Which probably made them sort of dig in their heels. It's not like she's like, oh, I'm going to do whatever I can, and I believe in IAAF, and they have the best interest of the athletes at heart. No, it just became a rallying cry. And then, I mean, last year was wild. Think of that, right? Like, she got banned, then she got like
unbanned,
and then unbanned, ran pre, and then that was it. Like, that's a crazy story if you think about that.
They should make a movie about it.
So I was going to say, some sports media company involved in track should do like a story on that.
Do you know who they make a movie about? What's her name? The escort, female distance runner from Wisconsin.
Oh, Susie Faber Hamilton.
Susie Faber Hamilton.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some.
And based on her, that Fast Girl memoir, and the director should be the director and lead star should be the same one who did the Tara Lipinski movie. I think Tara Lipinski.
Oh, you're talking about Nancy
Kerrigan. Tanya Harding.
Okay.
So Margot Robbie playing Susie Faber Hamilton.
Okay.
That would work.
All right.
I just they look alike.
Oh, okay.
Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Will play, and it'll be shot in the same version of the.
Did they shoot that like a faux like documentary style? Okay.
So you do it like that, which is that director, whoever that director is.
They were good.
You
like that movie?
That was a great movie. And you do it on the story of Susie
Faber Hamilton. That was a crazy story too.
Yeah,
I mean that was. Yeah,
but
not something.
I'm waiting for that movie to come out. And for Margot Robbie to play.
I'm guessing she optioned the book, right?
I think she said like she's not ready for it. Like a few years ago, it's like I'm not I guess it's like putting yourself even more out there to have like a biopic about yourself.
Right, because people inside the track world obviously know, and then people maybe a little bit outside know because she's out there talking about the book. But a movie puts it on a whole new level. And
I think also a movie it's like you don't want it to be a bad movie.
No,
like it'd be weird if it's like a C/B level movie about your life. You want to only know if it's going to be like a Oscar type movie,
not a Lifetime movie.
You don't want a Lifetime movie. Yeah,
you want the director who did.
I mean, most people's lives are Lifetime caliber movies. Not many people have Oscar Brad Pitt playing them movies.
What was the name of that movie? I can't think of it now. The figure skating movie, the Tanya Harding movie.
Oh, dude, Ice? No.
I have a computer right here. Here we go.
Tanya Harding movie. I, Tanya.
There you go.
Yeah, so we call I
Susie.
I Susie.
What do we got here in terms of the director?
Who's the director? Craig Gillespie. So yeah, Craig Gillespie and Margot Robbie. That's what I want doing this movie.
Never heard of Craig Gillespie.
That's what I want. So, I'm just waiting for that.
That was only his sixth movie.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a sixth movie.
Yeah. Anyway, NCAAs is in a week.
Yes.
It's Friday. It's next Friday. What's today's date? March 6th?
Literally next Friday. Yeah, today's March 6th. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th in Albuquerque. It's not canceled. Corona said
no.
Don't matter.
Yep.
My brother was like, "Are you traveling?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like nervous for me. I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm going to Albuquerque. We're fine."
Yeah, no international travel, but
no international travel.
Domestically.
So you made a list.
I drafted the events.
You drafted the events.
All 20 running events, just running events.
I was gonna make a joke. Like, you do know there's.
No, I know, but then you get to 34. It just goes on.
Yeah.
Really, really long. But I was talking with Lincoln yesterday, and I listened to your guys' pod on Wednesday. Typical Wednesday pod with you and Lincoln up to your normal hijinks.
Yes, we do.
And it just dawned on me just how much I'm interested in the distance relative to the sprints. And that could flip for outdoor, because maybe we'll see some people that do stuff indoors, and that gets me excited for outdoor. So I decided to put them in an order. So this is the order of my draft.
So this is a Kevin Sully's.
Yeah, not yours.
Official interest level draft of events.
Yeah.
So what's the criteria for why you would pick an event over another event?
It's just real simple. It's like, oh, do I want to watch that event?
So this is like most want to watch to least want to watch.
Yeah. It's like an interest index.
Interesting.
Interest algorithm. I put in an interest algorithm.
Okay.
But it's specific to my desires and what I find fun about track. So someone could have a completely different list, and I would totally respect it.
So I'm going to look at this list, and then I'm also going to critique it.
Yeah,
and
you can tell
where
me.
You're wrong.
Okay. Well, I'll make the case for why everybody's in each one of these 20 spots. Is that fine?
That's fine.
Okay.
Should we start worst to best?
No, let's go at the top. Let's go number 1.
Best to worst?
Yeah, let's go number 1.
Okay. Well, but like, worst to best means you'd be like, ooh, what's going to be the best?
Well, I feel like you're going to have more quibbles with the bottom of my list than the top, probably. I think there'll be some agreement at the top, I would guess.
Okay.
So we'll start with some agreement.
Sure.
Women's 3,000, number 1. You don't have Danny Jones, which is a bummer. But you'll have Kaladi coming back. You have a fresh Alicia Monson. Anytime those two races, awesome. And you also have, Izzo and Whitney Orton in there. Orton might be coming off a big run in the DMR. Stanford people in there as well, too. So that's a fun one. Could it have been even better? Yes, it could have been better with Danny Jones. Also could have been better if Taylor Warner wasn't redshirting. But it's still pretty good.
Okay.
So that's my number 1. Number 2, men's 5,000. Obviously, you got Klecker and Kurgat at the top. But you got that second layer. And to be in my top 5 picks, to be a lottery pick, you had to have that second layer. And for me, that's the NAU thing.
Okay.
So you have the 5 NAU people. So there's multiple storylines there. You with me on that one?
I'm going to wait till you get through a top few, and then I'm going to shuffle
Okay.
it.
Number 3, men's 3,000. Similar reasons. End of the meet has big potential in terms of what it's going to do to the team race. Put that aside, though. It's been a historically fast year for the men's 3,000. You get Klecker, Kurgat part 2. Who knows what that's going to mean? And a lot, Grijalva, Day, Beamish coming back. There could be a lot of, there could be at least 2 people coming back trying to get a second title there.
See, I'm going to stop you here. I think that is the best race.
The men's 3,000?
Yeah, because Nagoose, we haven't seen him in
So
a 3K.
Nagoose could be coming for 2. Beamish could be going for 2.
Yeah. So you have the rematch
Klecker could be going. So there could be 3 people coming for 2.
You have rematch of Klecker Kurgat.
Yeah.
You have the rematch of Cooper Tier and Nagoose from anchoring the DMR.
Yeah.
And then you have the rematch of NAU versus everyone.
Yep.
And that's why. So it's like 3 rematches. You have NAU versus the field rematch, Cooper Tier versus Nagoose rematch, and Klecker versus Kurgat rematch, all in the same race. And it's basically going to create the overall champion, right?
Okay.
Because we're going to have, like, Nagoose Tier, who's better after the DMR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to win a point. So say Nagoose wins that, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have the winner of the Klecker Kurgat battle in the 5K, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to also, but then you throw in the NAU guys. Basically, whoever wins that race is the best distance runner. Because there's not going to be another runner who's not in that. You could argue Oliver Horb maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't. I think the winner of the men's 3K is the overall best runner of the distance world.
Best runner of the year award.
All-time best runner. Right? Because, like,
yeah,
that's when you're going to because
the timing though, right? Here's
but the 5K doesn't have Cooper Tier or Nagoose. The DMRs don't have Klecker, Kurgat, or NAU guys.
Yeah, the timing.
But the 3K has everyone.
It could fall apart by then, though. That's the thing, the timing. If they were switched, if the 3K was on night 1, the 5K was on night 2, I'd be with you. Also, the reason I got Kaladi and Monson in that 3K, number 1, they have history. That 9 matchup? No. This would be 10, right? They were 8. They were 4-4 going into cross, right? No, this would be 11. Right? Because Kaladi won to go up 5-4, and then Monson beat her in Milrose.
Yeah.
So it's 5-5. I like the history there.
Okay.
I like the history there. But I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
You got a lot of... That's almost like the... it's the same reason we're like cross country. Everybody's on the track. Everybody's going for it. Right. So you have people going up for the mile, the DMR people, the 5K people. Everything is converging there.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's just the timing for me.
Okay.
It could fall apart. There could be some scratches. Some people could be totally out of it. If NAU's not in the team race at that point, is that interesting?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Maybe NAU's up by so much that they rest everybody. They just sit them. They say, you know what? We've covered the spread. We don't need any more points. Number 4, women's 800.
Yes.
Women's 800.
Interesting.
Danny Jones factor, and then you also got Nia Akins in there.
Collegiate record potential.
Yeah, running fast this year. Also, don't count out Carly Thomas. So I like that one. And then 5, men's mile. That one would have been higher if Nagoose was in it. To me, the big box office names there are Beamish and Hoare, but there's also a potential of like a Jordy Beamish like surprise from 2019.
From someone else comes in
this year. Yeah, so it doesn't have like the depth. It's not like 7-8 deep. Villarreal maybe
and also
kicks the win.
indoor mile races are just so wild.
Weird, yeah.
Like I rewatched the men's mile and trying to see like why Jordy won.
Yeah,
and he won the race. So throughout the entire race, he's in third, then he's back in seventh, and every lap or two, people are running in the outside lane 2, trying to get back to the front. It's like a train. Everyone's just like circling of like, oh, I want to get good position. I want to be top 3. I want to be top 3. But Jordy was the smartest runner because he made his move on the back stretch of the second to last lap.
So yes, he got into position.
So like right before 300 hit.
Yep.
So 350 meters, he made his move, and he made a hard move, right? And most people, once they make that hard move, they're not going to be able to hold it, and then someone's going to have this, wait for a second move. But once he's in position, and basically, if you make that hard move and you're able to hold it for 200 meters, you're not going to get past, because they're not going to pass you on the first turn. They're not going to pass you in back turn. If you're able to hold them off on that back stretch on the final lap, by the time you get to the home stretch, they're going to use so much energy trying to get to you on the outside curves,
which is what happened with Oliver Hoare, right?
Yeah.
He tried to get around on the backside, and
it just like wasn't enough. So
yeah.
I think that was a big strategic thing. That's how Andy Truard of NAU won the 3K over Justin Knight. He had position at the right time, made moves at the right time. There is a lot of like strategy.
Strategy.
The fastest runner doesn't always win because of position.
Yeah, more so indoors than outdoors. It just magnifies all the strategic decisions.
Yeah, because you have so much more time on straightaways.
Indoor, in Albuquerque, U.S. indoors, Thompson and Engels, same thing. Like, Engels makes the move to go by, can't do it on the backstretch. Oh, crap. Now I got to tuck in. Then only have 50 meters once this curve unwinds.
This is not a lot.
Not enough time. Next, so that's my 5th pick. Then I got the women's DMR and the men's.
No, you skip. Oh, okay.
Men's mile, no, women's DMR, men's DMR, which, I mean, to me are kind of interchangeable. They're both sort of very few teams in it, and they're interesting. Oregon, you got the collegiate record holder. You got Ben Thomas trying to be the first coach since
Jason Vigilante
to win DMRs.
Did you guys say that in the previous pod?
No, that's why I'm giving a chance to have that clarified.
Vigilante won the people didn't know that was an inside. So
it wasn't an inside joke. They listen to the pod every day. They heard yesterday. Lincoln and I did not know.
Jason Vigilante won the DMR at Texas and at Princeton.
Yeah.
With Leo Manzano and Peter Callahan as 2 anchors. And now Ben Thomas is trying to do it with Virginia Tech team and Oregon.
Yeah. So they're there. Obviously, Nagoose and Notre Dame, king of the DMR. They have the belt. So that's kind of fun. And then I guess you'd give Wisconsin a shot there because...
Yeah, I mean, Hoare's not going to be not healthy. Fresh.
Yeah.
But, you never know.
Women's side of things.
BYU and Stanford.
And I mean, Arkansas is kind of in there-ish, so it's almost like a revenge match for cross country.
Yeah.
But that
I think BYU wins that easily. I don't think it's going to be as close as the Oregon Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. So I'm saying if you flip those, I wouldn't mind. And then I go to number 8, women's 5,000, which Lincoln said is like the best race of the meet. Which
it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
He messed that one up.
I don't know what he's doing there.
Why do you think it's only 2 good runners in it?
He's too busy doing TikToks. I'm not sure.
It's Katie Izzo and Wendy Colati.
Right. A lot. So this one was obviously hurt by scratches or people not qualifying too, because you could have had a really crazy
Danny
race.
Jones or in Monson, you could have had all of that.
Yeah. I mean, Orton's one of the top times this year, too, when she's not in there. But it's basically Izzo versus Colati. I think Colati gets it done on her home track.
I think that's too high on your list. I think that's
but then
boring.
Here's the thing. There's sprints. So, and there's things like the women's mile and the men's 800. I went with the men's 60 hurdles next just because of the team implications.
Yeah, Florida State, LSU.
Yeah, exactly. Then I went with the 4x4s because I needed to put something in there, and I really couldn't decide on any events.
Well,
and
Texas
the 4x4s
A&M,
are always kind of fun.
Texas A&M might run fast.
NAU might put a 4x4 in there.
No, A&M, I mean, they have, like, their entire 4x4s all qualified individually in different events. They have 2 800 guys and 2 400 guys.
You're talking about the men. Okay.
That's their 4x4 for Texas A&M.
Women's could be interesting because it looks like it's going to be closer than we thought. So USC might need that to pull it out. That's a last race of the meet sort of bias there.
I mean, it would be cool to see, like, North Carolina A&T upset Texas A&M. in the 4x4. That would be cool.
To get
with Randolph Ross.
To get the title. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Trevor Stewart. They got a good squad. So that's 10 and 11, men's 4x4, and then women's 4x4. 12, I went women's mile, mostly for the historical standpoint, because if Danny Jones does pull off the 8-mile double, it's crazy, and she's going to need to do it here first.
Yeah.
Not much competition.
No competition.
But if she so it's like kind of like a win-win.
She's going to be racing people who are 10 seconds slower than her in the prelim.
Yeah. If she wins, it's then sets it up beautifully for the 800, and if she loses, it's an insane upset. So either way, I think that race has something important for it. Then I went women's 60. Why did I go women's 60, you ask? I had to pick an event. No. I don't know. Someone will pop something. Maybe Titi Terrell.
Is that altitude?
Yeah. It's fast track. Then I went women's 60 hurdles, kind of on the same side as the men, just because there is a team like USC looks like might need those points with McGlasson and Cockrell now that Brissett's out of it. Then I went men's 8, and I guess you could argue with me, oh, Kevin, you should put men's 8 up because the men's 8 is always fun indoors, and it's true. It is always fun, and you have Dixon trying to get his first title. But there's nothing that's happened this season in that event that justifies a lottery pick for me.
I mean, we could say, though, like, Devin Dixon is a wild card for making the Olympic team.
He is, for sure. He's got the talent.
And he's in this race.
Right. But there's just nothing this year that's happened that's made me like really energized about the 800.
What would need to happen in the 800 for you to be energized?
Last year he ran 145 at altitude and it got converted down to 144 and I was pumped. And then Bryce Hoppel was on this like demolition tour.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. Last year was awesome, and 2 years ago was awesome too.
Yeah, he had the
Isaiah
Couriers
Harris
and
Cerrunis.
Yeah,
Cerruni didn't know how many people qualified out of the prelim and almost didn't qualify for the final. It was awesome. No, the men's 800, women's 800, they're always great indoors, but this year
not good, not so.
Well,
great.
there just hasn't been anything yet. And this one's probably going to come back to me afterwards, but Kevin, why'd you pick men's 800 15th? You could have had Luka Doncic, and I'm like, I like Trae Young. That's why. 16. We're going down to the last 5 events here. 16. Women's 400. Now, this one I have a reason for.
You need to give me a good reason because I think that's the worst event.
It's been depleted this year, but this is where I look at the team side of things, and it does have huge team implications. USC got a lot of points last year, yes, and A&M. So sort of like the men's 60-meter hurdles, but USC has three women in there.
The winning time is going to be 51.7.
Do they change the points based on how fast the time is? No, they don't. That's the answer to that question.
51.7 slow.
Do you still get 10 points if you win?
You do.
You're the team guy. You should be backing
up
Roberts, Constantine, Lear, and then going against A&M's Sierra Richardson.
Every year, the winning time for the women's 400 needs to be sub 51 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Not almost over 52.
Maybe, we could see something. There's got to be one. Look, and I'm not the one who's been nice on the sprints all year. You've been the one who's been
Leah Abrams of South Carolina, Chloe Abbott of Kentucky both did not make the meet.
Yeah. Okay.
They're both
There's really going to be one of these sprint events is going to be good.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
And you're gambling on that one?
I'm not gambling on that one. I'm saying that has the added benefit of being important to the team race, and I had to hang my hat on something.
Okay.
I had to pick something.
Sure.
Because then I go down 17, men's 60. That one was tough to justify.
This is going to be the race where we're like, we miss Grant Holloway.
Yes. That's every race. For
yeah.
me. 4x4, hurdles, 200.
It's what? The guys are running 655s, 657s.
Yeah.
What's his name? Akiwo?
Raymond Ekwewo, yeah.
Raymond, how do you say his name?
Ekwewo.
He ran 653, but he ran that a long time ago, and he hasn't run close since.
Could have been Ekwewo, actually.
Ekwewo.
Let me change that.
Ekwewo. We'll edit it in post. There just hasn't been that Eli Hall type, or Grant Holloway, or a Christian Coleman,
Divine,
and Trayvon Bromell. There hasn't been I'm the man.
No, there hasn't, and you could put this one lower because then I went women's 200 next, men's 200, and then women's
200 indoors should always be last because no one
2-heat final.
It's a 200.
I'm just excited
indoors.
Micaiah Harris and Terrence Laird could do something cool though.
Yeah.
You could change if you want to change those last 5. I'm not gonna.
Okay, but your number one last one is men's 400. Why'd you say that? Your officially worst track event that you think is going to be the men's 400.
You could flip any of those 5 around.
No, you can't change it now. That's what you had.
Oh, why don't? I mean, can I change it to the men's 60? I don't know. Can I
No, but
change it
why
to
did you pick
200?
20th men's 400?
What's
putting you on the
there?
spot.
What's there? I mean, so 200's indoors. You're right. Bleh.
Yeah.
400's indoors. They're like a cousin of the 200 indoors.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
true.
2 laps. I mean, yes, Michael Norman runs really fast in them, but by and large. So I think it's going to be between those two. 60 obviously doesn't have a equivalent event outdoors.
Do you think in
same
the men's
distance.
400, Randolph Ross will win it? The freshman overall, like the seniors.
Maybe. I mean, who? So it's Ross, Deadman,
You have like
Jonathan Jones.
Jonathan Jones.
Maybe
in
this
there.
should be higher.
You have the TCU guy, Derek Mokeling,
Mokelang. Yeah, you're right. Maybe this should be
Bryce
higher.
Deadman.
Maybe this should be higher, but because there are at least a couple names of people we know. Maybe we should move that up to 18 and put the 200s below it. I don't know, man.
We're splitting hairs right here.
Yeah, I think we're splitting hairs, and the thing is, it's just like someone could run a really fast time, relatively speaking, indoors in the 200, but it's still like an indoor 200. So you're like, what? Same with the indoor 400. You're like, what?
Yeah.
60. I think there's more of a chance of there being like a fast time of
Connection to outdoor.
Yeah, or just oh man, they moved up to number 7 all time. Like they ran 6:49. Like that's pretty good. They ran 6:50, but I just don't see it. I mean, the 400. Is Stewart make the meet?
He did.
Yeah.
He got it, but he barely made it. He made it on a flat track conversion time.
Get there any way you can, man. I don't. If you want to argue with any of those 5, I wouldn't put up a strong case. But the first 15 are basically a perfect order.
So, the fact that you made this draft,
Yeah.
that you were like half of these races are shit. What can we do to get you excited about all 20 races, and get you to because you were excited about. You can get excited about you've been excited about going to Big Tens.
Oh yeah, I'm a Big
You
Ten
know.
guy. I'm a Big Ten guy, Gordon.
So, like-
I'm a track guy. We just need to. I mean,
Do we see fast times? Is that what we need?
no, it's not just that. We need just some. I hate to say it, juice.
Juice.
We need some juice here. There's just not enough juice, and it's bound to happen. There's going to be years that aren't that great, and I think this is just the natural progression of a lot of people going pro over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't Grant Holloway be a senior this year?
Sydney would be
Junior. Yeah, I guess Ryan Benjamin would graduate, but Michael Norman would be a senior.
Yeah.
Noah Lyles would. You want to get
He'd
crazy
still be
with it? Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's just at a certain point you run out. Now I hear your point of it's the NCAA.
Vino Duro would be here,
Yeah.
senior.
I hear your point. Like it's the NCAA. It regenerates, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those animals that loses a limb and then it grows it back like instantaneously. So I don't think I'm going to be saying this at the end of the weekend. I think at the end of the weekend I'm going to be like, whoa, so and so had a crazy race. Like, who's this new person? But right now, when you're looking at it from a preview perspective, it is tough. And I guess it's just like because the pros were running and the Olympic marathon trials are going on, it was tough to get attention as is. But there hasn't. I mean, just last year we were losing our mind about what Grant Holloway was attempting to do. And we were like, can he win this NCAA meet essentially by himself? But he had a rival. Roberts was pretty close, although he didn't really. NCAA Indoors is really where Daniel Roberts put his name out there, I thought.
Yeah.
And then you got, him versus Devine in the 60. Can he go to the 60 and can he beat people at their own game?
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to it's hard to see something similar this year, but every year it happens.
One thing when
there's nobody coming in that we already know, right? That's the thing. It's going to be somebody new, and that's great. But like last year, we came in being like, "Oh, this is Holloway's year." The year before, it's like, "Okay, Norman, Sydney, et cetera, et cetera." Like Aaliyah Hobbs is going to run fast. Like going in. This year, there was no person going in on the sprint side of things. It was more weighted to distance, which happens. It's natural.
The one thing I always I've been at Flow now for 6 years, so I've been to 18 NCAA championships, right?
Maybe
Indoor, outdoor, and cross.
You left
6.
outdoor early last year, so you don't get credit for that.
Okay, well, I've been to a lot.
You went to 25%.
So I've been to 18 national championships.
17.25.
But among those 18 national championships, they were crowning 40 individual champions.
Well, on the track side of things.
The track side, right? Times 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen
you gonna rank them all?
hundreds and hundreds of individuals become national champions, NCAA national champions. And when you keep on seeing more and more become NCAA champions, you're kind of like, do they just give these out? Like, does everyone just become,
Yes, that's how it works.
Like, it's when you see it all, like, they're going to crown, 30-some national champions in indoor, and then they're going to crown another 30 outdoor, et cetera, et cetera. So it kind of, sometimes it feels like it dilutes the product in a weird way. Mm. That's why the Olympics is so special, because it's only every 4 years. To be an Olympian, like, you only can be, like, maybe once in a career.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes it, I'm not sure. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to say sometimes
there's a lot.
The prestige of it feels like it's going away when there's so many of them.
Imagine if you were 60 years old, how you'd feel.
Yeah.
Like, they give these things out like candy. I guess you're saying you've just seen a lot of people who, like, pull off crazy upsets, and then the rest of their career doesn't necessarily pan out, and then you're saying that changes the value of it. But then on the flip side of things, you see people like Grant Holloway.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he didn't have enough Grant. He didn't have, or like Cheserek.
Cheserek,
Or even like
Sydney, what Sydney was doing.
But look at like what Danny Jones is attempting to do. Like,
yeah.
An 800 cross-country double.
It is kind of cool.
Is insanity.
She's kind of like the Abby D of this generation, because Abby D won a lot of individual titles during her run, like in her like end of sophomore to like middle of senior year.
But did she have that? She didn't have that 800.
She didn't have the 800, but she won like everything she raced. So she's kind of It's cool when you find someone who's able to dominate the era, Like, it's weird that Wayne Kaladi only has one track title, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but like let's go back a couple years to one of your 17.25 championships. 2 years ago at Texas A&M, when it was an American record, a collegiate record was getting broken every 15 seconds. It was Eli Hall, it was Gabby Thomason 200, Sydney did something, Kendall Ellis did something, Michael Norman did something, he set a world record, USC ran the fastest 4x4 ever. I'm probably skipping people, right?
Yeah, 800 was fast.
Well, my point being, it was way weighted into the sprints. Like, if I asked you, okay, what happened? Do you remember who won the 5K that year?
No.
Justin Knight.
Oh, okay.
But like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and he's great. And it was great, right?
Against Mark Scott. Against Mark Scott.
Probably. No, this is indoor.
But like, wasn't Mark Scott in that 5K probably?
No, he wasn't. No, I don't. Was he?
Yeah.
In 18? I think he was done with college.
Was he? Oh, okay.
Get on the Google. Truard won the 3K.
Okay, yeah.
Women's side of things, Schweizer.
That was the Danny Jones double. Was that the Danny Jones double?
No. That was 17. Okay. This was Jones coming back, barely raced, ran the mile, and lost to Purrier by that much.
Okay.
So you're making my point for me, which is, it's not like a trick question, but it's just like, there were still good distance races, but we remember the sprints.
Yeah.
And this might be a year where we just remember the distance. And
that's true.
That's fine. Like someone like Justin Knight can get overshadowed. That just shows you how good the meet was, right? Like, I don't even remember, like, who won the 800 that year. Well, it would have been Cerny, right?
Was that Cerny?
Yeah.
Did he win, or did Isaiah Harris win it?
No, Isaiah Harris didn't beat him till outdoors.
Okay.
So, but like, yeah, it's just it's like that. These things go in cycles.
Yeah.
And they come back. So you don't need to be weird about me being interested. I will be interested.
I'm worried that you're gonna just like take a melatonin and fall asleep.
I'll just like leave for certain events. I'm like, "Where's Kevin?" I told Link I was gonna go to the Jimmy John's during some of the events, so and get my numbers.
And I kind of feel bad that you did a whole ranking and you didn't even rank a single field event.
Well, I'll tell you the field events I'm into. I'm into those the LSU jumpers, man.
LSU jumpers will be interesting to watch.
Fun. Yeah.
Chris Nielsen might break the collegiate record in the pole vault.
Yeah,
that's legit.
Groover in the women's pole vault.
Pole vault. Year of the pole vault. Every year's the year of the pole vault.
The pole vault is getting better and better. I've always said that about the pole vault.
Georgia might sweep the decathlon.
Right, that'll be exciting. Trip Paperi in the shot, like that'd be huge for Texas.
Yeah,
gets 10 points.
The weight throw actually is sneakily really good. They've been throwing the women and the men have both been throwing down. The kid from Kansas, Dudev Gleb, he's been throwing out of his mind. And there's just one woman from, I forget where, but there's a man and a woman who are both throwing like top 10 all-time marks. Mm-hmm. So.
And how about the Texas A&M jumpers too on the women's side of things, right? They could score a lot of points.
Jasmine Moore, the freshman from Georgia in the triple, the second coming of Couture Orgy.
Yeah. Cinnamon Stevens from Texas A&M.
Great name.
All name team.
All name team. There's a lot of good all name teams.
Yeah, maybe we should do the all name team next week.
We should.
Lincoln was keeping a list during cross country. Heavy Chico State representation. I'll just give you a spoiler alert there. Those guys were all about it. But yeah, somebody give me before we go, give me like your prediction of who's the sprinter that pops. And it could be someone we know like TT, or it could be somebody like completely off the board. Like who's gonna be the person like, oh my gosh, they broke the collegiate record, or they like they stole the meet basically.
Oh, I'll tell you because I've been going through this.
Give me a name.
The name of the person who's gonna pop off a fast one.
Yeah, or just they're gonna win the meet basically. From a figurative standpoint.
I think Terrence Lard is gonna throw down a really fast 200.
Is that your pick?
Yeah, okay. I think he's gonna run 20.2 something.
And where would that put him all time?
I don't know. Top 5.
Okay.
I think. We'll find it. 5, 4,
3, 2. Here we go. We're clicking.
Indoor Man. Thank you, Track and Field News, for the information. So 20.2 would put him, 5th all time, 6th all time.
That'd be a good list, though.
Yeah, it's a good list. I mean, Elijah Hall 2002, Oduduru 2008, Spearman 2010, Coleman 2011, Bromell 2019.
Yeah.
So like, I think he will join this list. I think he's gonna run sub 20.25. He's gonna run 20.24.
Okay.
Remember that 20.24.
I like that.
And he's gonna be like the guy that's like, oh, okay. Get excited for him.
Okay. And in the 200, the U.S. could use a little bit of a kick in the pants there.
A little bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, jump start. All right.
That's my take.
That's a good one.
Especially it's at altitude, so you get to run a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll be announcing mine next week.
Okay. Save it.
My person. Yeah, I want to save it. I don't want to give everybody everything.
What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? I'm not traveling for the first time in 3 weeks. So
that's exciting.
I went to Albuquerque for U.S. Indoors, then I went to Washington State for a wedding, and then I went to Atlanta for the trials. So this week I'm not traveling, and then we're going to go back to Albuquerque next weekend. So I'm going to probably sleep.
Sleep all weekend?
Most of it. No, I have kids. I don't sleep. What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to see the world. I got cheap tickets to Italy and China. I'm going to go take advantage of that discount. Right. Southwest, baby.
So maybe we won't see you for Albuquerque. Yeah. Well, next week will be fun because next week we got you and I are going to go on Monday, probably Tuesday too because Lincoln's gone, and then we're going to take the podcast on the road for Friday. Oh, and Thursday, right?
Yeah.
We're recording
Maybe
Thursday.
we'll interview a couple coaches while we're in Albuquerque.
Maybe we'll do an airport episode on Thursday when we're waiting for our flight.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Yeah, we get on at like 9 or something. So
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Mike Smith in the coaches press conference.
We already got so maybe that can be an episode next week. I draft questions and I run them by you.
Okay. Because just like I'm gonna ask him super like track heavy questions and he's gonna be like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Like, what do you attribute the rise of LSU's jumpers to? What's your plan to slow down?
And he's just gonna say it's an outcome question. And he's not gonna answer it.
Yeah. No, I'll come up with a list and you just tell me if it's a good question or bad question.
We'll do it.
We'll do it for all the coaches. Why don't we draft questions? Let's assume who the coaches are going to be.
So we say do our jobs? Is what you're saying? Draft questions?
But we'll do it publicly. We'll
we should ask the people, what questions should we ask coaches in the press conference?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Podcast question.
That would be, Hey, Gordon Mack from FloTrack here. I'm reading a question from our podcast. Mike in Tulsa, Oklahoma wants to know. And then
what's the deal?
Yeah, what's
How dare you?
Where do you get off?
Where do you...
I like. Okay, that's. We'll write that down for next week.
Yeah, we'll get if you guys submit a question and it's good, we'll ask it.
Yeah, but then also you'll hear our questions because I think we should workshop them on the show.
Yes,
like
we should prepare. This is our big moment.
Yeah.
NCAA press conference
packed.
It's packed to the rims. Albuquerque, the city of
land of enchantment. Oh yeah. The old hot air balloon fest.
All right,
we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.